Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 10 because I was reading through this article where they were talking about a little bit about Michonne's role in Season 10 and how Season 10 will be like a big legacy type season for Michonne because, as we know, it is Denai Guerrero's last season. So we're going to get into all that, discuss her last season, what we can expect, what's going to happen to Michonne, how she's going to exit, all that in this video today. So with that being said, let's get started. So yeah, as we all know, Season 10 will be Michonne's final season. The reports are it's going to be like a handful of episodes, kind of maybe similar to like Rick and Maggie, like 5-6 episodes, and then that's that. But it's interesting also because they also did report that they're trying to make it work so Michonne would probably be in the Rick Grimes movie, and I think that's best fitting for her character and for fans because I know a lot of fans, including myself, were waiting for that reunion between Rick and Michonne, and if they kill Michonne, you know that's gonna it's gonna really suck because that reunion will never happen, and I think that's what a lot of fans are waiting for. So it'll make sense for them to keep Michonne alive. So that's why I kind of want to talk about, what we can expect in season 10 and how her exit can play out. So now I want to move on and talk about what Angela Kang said about Michonne's legacy in season 10. So this is what she said. She said, and I'm quoting here, "We're hoping to treat fans to a lot of very cool, meaty stories for Michonne. We have seen her character go through an evolution this year. We want to continue having her reflect on the ways to handle leadership in this world. What legacy is she going to leave behind for the other leaders and for her family?" So right after reading this, the first thing that came to my mind was Rick, because last season, the first 5 episodes was definitely like Rick's legacy, especially that 5th episode was like an incredible Rick legacy type episode. And I could definitely see the same thing going on for Michonne because, Rick, at the time he did the bridge explosion and he sacrificed himself to save everybody else, everybody was kind of at odds. People weren't sure who should be leader. People weren't, coping well together. And then there was Rick, who was being a really, really good leader. So I can definitely see the same thing going on with Michonne here, or maybe they're having some issues with the Whispers, possibly needing help handling the Whisper War. Maybe the Whispers take out more people and somebody needs to step up and be a leader. And that could be Michonne. And maybe her exit will be after, the Whisper War. And I don't think she's going to die, obviously. Maybe she's going to wrap up the Whisper War, finish the Whisper War, and then she's going to go off to wherever she's going, most likely where Rick is. But that would leave a good legacy, if you think about it. Her saving her people and fighting alongside her people. And what I think would be even better is if she gets some sort of indication that Rick is alive, but she doesn't go right away. She stays back and helps fight the Whispers and then goes. I think that would be even better for her because it would show that she knows this person she loves is alive, but instead of going after them, she saves her people and fights against the Whispers. And, that's what a good leader would do. So I think that's kind of like something that I would think would be really good for her legacy. And I would love to see something similar to that. Because we also did have that radio at the end of season 9. Now, we don't know if that's where Rick is or the Commonwealth or what. I'm really hoping it's like the community that Rick is a part of. Because Michonne needs to get some sort of indication, like I said. Like, she's not just going to leave and look for... Like, she's already looking around the area for Rick all the time. We saw that in episode 14. But in order to go really far away, like to a different state or a different corner of the United States, like they're saying where Rick is going, that's what the reports are, that the helicopter is taking him to a different corner of the United States. And that only makes sense because it is a helicopter. It's not like a car or something. Like, Georgie, which I'm assuming is the Commonwealth, she took a car. Like they had a little van, so that is not as far away as Rick is. So in order for Michonne to leave like really far away, she would need to get some sort of confirmation that Rick is alive. And I really hope that radio is going to be that confirmation, because they have been setting up that radio for a long time. We heard a voice at the end, and then also Angela Kang was talking about that radio, and she said that expect the unexpected. And I made a video talking about that in my Radio Explain video if you want to go check that out for a more deeper conversation about the radio. But Angela Kang did tease about that radio and said to expect the unexpected. So I feel like a lot of people are expecting the Commonwealth because that's what happens in the comics. Around the same time, Eugene hears a voice of somebody from the Commonwealth. But if she's saying expect the unexpected, I think that'll be a real cool twist on that, where it's Rick's people. And then she would get in season 10. They're gonna explore it more further, and we would hear Rick maybe even, or Jadis or somebody saying that Rick is alive. And then that would be Michonne's cue to go look for him. Some other things I want to read from Angela King before we move on. She also said this. She said, Michonne started off as such an isolated individual. She became someone who has had a giant impact on the people in the Walking Dead story. This is a story we're continuing to build as we speak. I'm thrilled we get to continue to work with Denai next year because she's been an amazing part of the show and such a rock for our group. And then lastly, she said, we've kind of known that she would have a reduced role this coming season. We're excited to tell a nice meaty story for her in season 10 regardless, I can tell you. So yeah, again, like this said, they don't really know how long she's gonna be in season 10. They know, but we don't know. She said reduced role. I'm guessing it's gonna be like the first half of season 9, or at least the Whisper War, that part, because I don't see her leaving in the middle of the Whisper War, and I also don't see the Whisper War lasting the entire season. So I think like maybe the first half would be a good arc for the Whisper War and a good arc for Michonne's exit. And in the part where she says that, Michonne has had a huge impact on the people in The Walking Dead, and that's the story we're continuing to build, that's also really interesting because, if she's going to have a huge impact on the people, it's like really this big legacy type story they're going to be telling in season 10. And it kind of reminds me a little bit, like I said, of Rick, but the situation with Rick is a lot different because Rick blew up the bridge knowing he was going to die. And I don't know if Michonne is going to like do something where she might die and she ends up surviving or something. Who knows? Maybe she ends up dying because she's not even in the Rick Grimes movies like 100% confirmed. That's just like reports are saying that, she most likely will be in them. And I think that's because that's like really the best option for Michonne and for fans, because I feel like if Michonne dies, fans are definitely going to be turned off by this whole story because I feel like a lot of people are waiting for the reunion since Rick is alive. But I do think Michonne is going to do something that's really going to risk her life, and I think she's going to really I think she's not going to hold back against the Whispers. And this is what kind of like my theory of how I think it's going to go down in season 10, is that the Whispers are going to come back around and kill somebody. And my guess is I feel like they're going to kill King Ezekiel, because I made a video talking about that earlier in my prediction for season 10. But the quick reason I think that they're going to kill Ezekiel is because in the season 9 finale, the Whispers, they crossed into the border, and Ezekiel was like the one person who was kind of hesitant about it. He was like, we don't want to trigger a Whisper War. But everybody else was like, nah, we gotta go because that's the fastest way home. So I feel like since Ezekiel was like the one person who was hesitant about it, I feel like he's gonna be the one person who ends up dying, and then everybody's like, damn, we should have listened to Ezekiel. That's kind of the way The Walking Dead works. So that's why I kind of feel like Ezekiel is gonna die. Also, Ezekiel is on borrowed time right now. He was supposed to die in the finale, or not in the finale, but like in the Pikes. So he is on borrowed time also. And I have this bad feeling that Ezekiel is going to die, and that's what's going to trigger the Whisper War. Because some time has skipped since season 9, episode 15, when the Pikes happened. There was a couple months of a time jump between episode 15 and 16, and then also, Angela Kang said recently that season 10 is going to pick up with another time jump. Nothing too crazy, but just a couple months most likely. So it's going to be like at least maybe half a year, even closer to a year since the Pikes happened, and there still is no Whisper War. So I think something else has to happen in order to trigger that war, because right now it doesn't look like they want to start a war. That's why Ezekiel said we don't want to trigger a war. So I feel like they haven't really discussed fighting back yet or something. I feel like they're just kind of minding their own business. But let's say, and this is what I also think, that somebody from the Whispers saw them cross into their territory. They're gonna report back to Alpha, and then Alpha's gonna go to the hilltop where Ezekiel is, because I don't think the Whispers know where Alexandria is. And right now Ezekiel is at the hilltop. But regardless, like the hilltop is like the one place they know. So I feel like they're gonna go back to the hilltop and kill some more people, possibly Ezekiel, and then that's going to trigger the Whisper War, and then that's when Michonne comes in. And if Ezekiel dies, Michonne would be like the last remaining leader in the communities, like one of the stronger leaders, because Rick is gone, Maggie's gone, Ezekiel might be gone, and then Tara's also gone, who was leading the hilltop since Maggie left and Jesus died. So there really is no leader, and then that's when this whole legacy story of hers can come into play, because obviously another death, a big death like that, was definitely going to trigger the Whisper War, because they can't stand like this anymore. They have to fight back. Michonne could be that person to fight back. She could lead the communities and fight the Whispers and kick some ass, and then that would kind of, when she leaves in the second half of season, or like towards the first half of season 10, she would know her family and friends are safe. I think that's the best case scenario, because she would be helping her people by bringing back Rick, or making everybody happy by going after Rick and bringing him back possibly, and she saved and led her people to victory in this Whisper War. So that's kind of the way I see it happening, with this whole legacy story that they're talking about for Michonne. That's the way I see it happening. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think is going to happen? It might not be exactly like this, but I hope it is something similar to this, because I really hope Michonne doesn't die. I want her to survive, because I want to see their reunion. So if she is gonna, be leaving a legacy in season 10, I feel like this would be the best possible way. But I am gonna wrap it up there. And again, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think Michonne's storyline is gonna be like in season 10? How do you think her arc is gonna play out? Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. And for more Walking Dead content just like this, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.